Yeah, rubbing our hands together, getting excited, getting ready. Ladies and gentlemen, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. We're Bakin, and we're live, and we're visible, and we're scrumptious, and we're delicious. Got a silhouette stream. Yeah. Didn't think you'd see this one out of old Chimmaney, did you? Didn't think he'd pull this one out of his back pocket. Guess what? I got a lot of tricks in there. In my back pocket, I got tricks. I got silhouette streams. I got my wallet. I got... Oh, sure. Just put that back there. Oh. Sorry, it's just, yeah, fake passports. We're baking. What are we baking? You say, wait, hang on, we're baking? Baking silhouette stream, Valentine's Day? I don't get it. Well, I got a cookie recipe. I got Chimmaney's favorite cookie recipe, and it's not only my favorite, it's the favorite of the public, the general public as well. It's very easy. It's pretty much just grab these ingredients and throw them in a bowl. Grab these ingredients and throw them in a bowl. It's simple as can be. Got a notification to tell myself I'm streaming. Yeah, I follow my own Twitch account with my personal one. What of it? It's a very easy recipe. Anyone can do it. It like genuinely anyone can do it. It's pretty much just grab like these 5 ingredients, mix them together. Grab these 5 ingredients, add them, and then put it on a tray. It's deadly easy, and you know what else? It's deadly delicious. People have died eating these because, you know, if you put nuts in them, which is an optional. There's optional extras as well. It's a bit of a choose your own adventure bake. I got a bowl. And you know what? I got bowl tricks as well. Check this. Bet your grandma can't do that. Now, there are many steps to baking cookies. We're getting right into it. You know, we're getting right into the silhouette stream bacon. Baking cookies! Did I mention that we're making cookies? And did I mention all of this that I can pull off just without even looking? You don't know if I was looking. I mean, I guess you can kind of tell. Also, revealed accidentally. Look, I'm going to donate my hair. It got to a point during quarantine where it was like, I need to get this cut. I haven't yet. Hang on, how long does it have to be to donate? I'm going to whatever, I got long hair at the moment. I got Big Boss Metal Gear Solid 5 hair at the moment. Let it slide. We got a bowl. We're going to be making cookies. We're going to be making delicious cookies. The first step to making delicious cookies is one I did off stream. But it's the most important step of all. Wash your hands. Alright, I see you sitting there. In your sleeping bag. Your hands have been in that sleeping bag. You've been sweating onto your hands. And don't worry, ladies and gents. We got better ways of adding salt to our cookies than having sweaty hands, so wash your hands. Don't use soap. Just spit on your hands a couple times. And then get like a paper towel and rub it in. And you'll be good from there. I'm excited. I'm like happy right now. And I'm happy and I'm doing bowl tricks because of it. Alright. So what you're going to need for this, and you know, this is more for the people doing the highlight video, watching the highlight video when it comes out, because they actually have the time to prepare it, but most of these ingredients are stuff you could potentially have in your house, so maybe you don't need to be prepared. You're going to need 250 grams of butter, left out to soften, preferably, but if not, you can just kind of hold it like that. 250 grams of butter, I don't know how many cups that is if you measure it in cups. Most people would measure it in grams, I'm sure. You can replace some of this with margarine. I don't know the exact numbers, but one time I had like 100 grams of butter. I was like, oh shit. And then I put in 150 grams of margarine with 100 grams of butter and it turned out fine. So Worst case, I mean, you could try replace it all with margarine, right? Maybe that would work out for you. Couldn't tell you. I would be estimating. We got the butter. You need brown sugar. You need about 300 grams of brown sugar. We'll be measuring it in cups when we're putting it in, but it's just if you're going to be purchasing the brown sugar, more than 300 grams in the bag and you're good. 300 grams in the bag, you're good. You're going to need 1 egg, which we got eggs. You're going to need 1 of them. Chicken ones, specifically. Don't get like tadpole eggs. I don't think it would work if you only used 1. If you're going to use tadpole eggs, maybe weight equivalent. We've got brown sugar. Did I say brown sugar? I said brown sugar. I didn't say flour. Bit under 400 grams of flour, if you're buying it. We're going to be doing 2 1/4 cups of flour. Self-raising flour, excuse me. That was close. 2 1/4 cups of self-raising flour. It's a bit under 400 grams. So if you're buying it in, make sure you get 400 or more. We're going to need salt, just a teaspoon. You don't need much. If you really want, you could just sweat into it. It might water down the cookies a little bit, but yeah, I'm sure the payoff would be worth it. And then, optional. Bowl nearly fell off the table. Optional. Stuff to go in cookies. And that, hang on, you can read the family size, because it's green. It's actually yellow, but it's close enough, apparently. You can see that, can't you? Family size. Holy shit, that's awesome. Yeah, these are Smarties. I got Smarties. You can get choc chips, you can get nuts, you can get all 3. This is what goes in the cookie. This is the little extra touch, if you will. You could use caviar. If you were so inclined, you could use caviar. We're using Smarties, because I got rich tastes. Oh, almost forgot. That was, gee, thank God I have this written down right there, or I would be in huge trouble. Preheat the oven to 190 degrees Celsius. I'm gonna do that right now. All right, 190 degrees Celsius is what it is. And let me convert that for any Americans. What's the deal with that, by the way? Is there a story behind that? You being American, I mean. What, were you born there, or did you marry into it? You married into it. He was eating nuts, so if you want to do a bit of RP, you could put some nuts in your cookies. 190 C to F. Right, about 375 Fahrenheit. Is that a bad? No, that's 365. I think. I don't know. I've never met him. I don't know. I'm rolling up my sleeves. I got a jacket on. I'm rolling my sleeves back down. It's a bit cold. It's summer right now, but I'm sure the sleeves will go up eventually. The first step after the third step. First step, wash your hands thoroughly. Second step, oven. Third step, big bowl. Optional 3.5 step, bowl tricks. And now we get to the bowl. All right. So first thing you're gonna want to do is get that butter. 250 grams of butter. And what can help? This part is optional as well, but it's a good idea, and it's one I came up with on the spot. I'll be honest, I came up with this one just now. And as I got a butter knife, I'm going to cut it into pieces, because we're putting this in the bowl. All 250 grams. The whole thing of butter. And I'm going to cut it into pieces, because we're going to mix it with the sugar. And then it'll be easier to do when it's in smaller pieces, see? Now, I don't want you to applaud yet. Save all your applause to the end, but I did just think of this on my own. So, we're going to be mixing it with a spoon and probably a bit of our hands, which is what we washed it for. But if you got an electric mixer, which you like, maybe it was a Christmas present you never threw away and never used, you can use that quite comfortably. In fact, that's probably the better option. So, and make sure when you use it, you get a quick picture before using it of yourself with it, smiling over the bowl, and like into that you're holding the phone in this hand. It's like, yeah, and you're holding the mixer with this hand. And yeah, and make sure you send it to the person that gave it to you as a gift. And be like, thanks for this, by the way. I'm getting some really good use out of it. Hey, you want to come over sometime and try my cookies that I made? And then get ghosted. I've been there. It's rough. I'm not gonna lie, it's rough, you know? But that's life. And you gotta be tough to... What do you gotta be tough to do? Something about leather, I'm pretty sure. You gotta be tough to make leather. You gotta be cracking eggs to make leather. Right, this butter is a bit too softened. I mean, it's going to make it good for mixing, but for separating the pieces after you cut it with the butter knife, this is not optimized. I gotta cut it again because the pieces melted together while I was putting the other half in. Alright, make sure, hey, pro tip, when you're cutting this butter into the little pieces, separating it with the butter knife, it's like push them aside with the knife, you know. Don't just slice down to the bottom. Slice down to the bottom and then push. That's the Chimmaney trick. Tip and trick. Tip and trick. All right, butter's in there. 250 grams, easily. I promise my fingers aren't like weird sausage stubby fingers. It's a combination of the green screen and also I just have a lot of webbing. That my finger, hang on, I got like a notepad over part of the screen so I can't see. Alright, my finger goes, this is so hard to navigate, give me a sec. Alright, my finger goes down to here. That's where it is. It's down there. And from here to here is webbing. I promise. I don't have weird fingers. I mean, I guess I do. But I got weird hands. My fingers are fine. All right, shut up. Butter's in there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, now we get to the best part. Now we get to add in the sugar. Brown sugar, specifically. Don't use caster sugar. Don't use caster sugar. We're using brown sugar. Specifically, a cup and a half. A cup and a half of brown sugar. We will be using the cups for the flour later. So if you don't want to mix them up, I mean, it wouldn't really matter if you did. I'm just going to use the half a cup 3 times instead of the full cup, and then the half a cup. I'm going to use the half a cup 3 times. You know, sue me. Sue me. I don't want to get them mixed up. I don't want to get them tainted with each other. Because if I did, they'd find me again. Alright, I should have got scissors. Scissors aren't part of the cookies, so I didn't think to get them, but I need to open bags. Hang on, let me just think really carefully about how I could potentially open this. Okay. It's open. I got a corner open. I'm gonna use the knife that cut the butter knife that cut the butter specifically. No, yeah, you can't cut this open with a butter knife. This is a horrific tragedy. It's not even big enough for me to get a second finger in and tear apart. Unless I use my pinkies. Hang on, I'm gonna tear this bag open with my pinkies. Check this shit. One pinky's in. The other pinky's in. Can you see? My pinkies are in. Here's all my other fingers, see? And my pinkies are in. Okay, no, yeah, my pinkies are gonna snap off, but I did bend the plastic enough that I can now get my thumbs in. So, call it a victory. This is gonna go everywhere, dude. I can feel it. The amount of force I'm having to apply. Oh, it didn't. Oh. And that's why I'm the one with the bacon tutorial, and not you. We got the top of the bag open. Alright. I'm gonna use... I'll be using a tablespoon. Hey, optional tips and trick. I'll be using a tablespoon to get the sugar out of the bag and into the half a cup. And I'll be holding the half a cup over the bowl, so any spillage isn't part of the cleanup later. It's just a little extra sweet extra addition to your cookies. Come on. Yeah, yeah, there it is. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And look at that. Look at how perfectly flat I got it. I rubbed it with the spoon. I rubbed the top with the spoon and had the excess sugar fall into the bowl so that it would look flat, and I impress everyone. Yeah. I can say it now because it was years ago. The fad's worn off. I can admit to it now so that I die with no lies left to my name, but at the time I couldn't possibly admit that. Do you know what I would lose? Do you have any idea how much I've sacrificed? Second half a cup. That's 1 cup total if you're keeping count. Well, it's 2 half a cups, but when I say 1 cup total, I don't mean the container a cup. I mean the unit of measurement. By the way, fuck that, Brent. Who decided, like, oh yeah, we're gonna use... Also, I don't think tablespoons and teaspoons are standardized. I got some teaspoons that are like flat, basically. It's just like a flat piece of metal. That's all the sugar. I got some teaspoons that's just a flat piece of metal, and then some that are like really deep, and they're the same width and length. I don't think tablespoon and teaspoon is a standard user of measurement. I think it's just an estimation, which is abhorrent. That big bakery just let this go on. All right, we're gonna mix it. I'll be using my hands because I realized how fruitless the spoon would be. If you got an electric mixer, use the electric mixer. If you got hands and you plan to have them be the main source of mixing, make sure they're washed, or at least spat on, if nothing else. And make sure you combine it until it's all one great big mess. Yeah. Just like at Christmas time. Or at church. Or at Christmas church. One of them. You'll have to ask the philosophers. Alright, this is the moment where I should have rolled up my sleeves, but now I got butter sugar fingers and I can't do it. No, I'll do it with my mouth. We improvise here. Hey, we're baking something for our mouths, we use our mouths. For mouths, by mouths, as they say. It's not working. No, it's working. It's working. Ah, there we go. Up to the elbow. Yeah. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. And just like that. Hey, what did the guy say about Tony Stark in the cave? Tony Stark pulled his sleeves down in a cave with his canines. But I'm not Tony Stark. I think that light just ran out of battery. A green screen over there might be flickering in a bit. I can't tell. Notepad document for my little recipe is covering that half of the screen. I'll find out. It'll be a nice little surprise for me. Alright, good thing I softened the butter. I've never softened the butter before, by the way. I've done this recipe. I made this recipe, by the way. I made this recipe from... I looked at like 3 or 4 different cookie recipes and thought, okay, what's the simplest way I can mix all of these together? The end result is delicious, by the way. But it's such a simple process. And it's genuinely probably the best cookies I've ever had. And a lot of people who I've given them to agree. So, Oh, but you know, for those of you like, you made the recipe, right? Yeah. I'm winking. Oh, like wink. Hey, wink. You made the recipe, right? Wink. And you're like giving it to like when you're giving it to your friends and your girlfriend or your boyfriend, it's like, hey, I'm the one that made the recipe. Are you talking? You say that, and I'm back there like, yeah, man, yeah, yeah. It's true. It's true. Yeah, this guy made the recipe. And can I just say, wow. Oh yeah. Anyway, I've done this a lot of times. And I've never softened the butter before, and it's always been a huge problem. Because this stage is like the hardest stage ever. It's already done now. I should have softened the butter every time. I don't know, it's because I get there. And then it's like, okay, I'm gonna make the cookies. Let me get the butter out of the fridge. Oh, well, I'm making the cookies now. I don't want to wait like half an hour or however long it takes. Right, there we go. It's mixed together. You can dust off your hands of any excess sugar remaining on them into the bowl. Otherwise, that's cleanup. You can do the rest on your pants. It's, you know, it's acceptable. Let me see how bad that side of the screen is. A little bit. Wait, no, that's that side. What? Why is it that side? What? What's happening? I fixed it with my magic hand. What? This is unbelievable. How long have I had this power without knowing? Did I solve the economy? No. The economy is still, despite itself, having a bit of trouble. Right, what? Where even is that? That's right here. The light is shining there. Is the light bad? Apparently. Well, it just ran out of battery in my hand. So, I picked it up to turn it off and it ran out of... Okay, well that's... Good thing that it wasn't good, apparently. Oh, it's back on now. It just... I just shine it right in my eyes. It's flickering. It is really hot. I think it's in trouble right now. Alright. Well, I'll just leave that over there. That's like a fire hazard. We might be baking our cookies in the remains of the house. That's fine. Right. Now my forehead's getting... Sorry, sometimes you do mid-bake surgery. Right. Surgery complete. Next step, we got the flour and we got the sugar and we got the sugar and the butter mixed. And let me move this little recipe TXT document. Now we add in an egg. One egg. Don't go overboard here. I know how you like. I know you love your eggs. Scrambled, right? Yeah, I could tell. It's the chin. Chin gives it away. Okay, whatever. I got hair. It'll happen. You add the egg, not the shells. You could. My hands are here. I could be doing anything. You know, I could be picking my nose right now. I could be picking my nose and eating it. I could be picking my nose and eating it, and you wouldn't know because we can't see my hands because it's silhouette. I could be picking my nose and eating it. You don't know. Eggshells, stay out. I hope I got that message to you in time. Sure, that could be catastrophic. Egg goes in. Teaspoon of vanilla goes in. Got a teaspoon. Now these are not standard measurements, so you're gonna have to hope you got the right teaspoon. Too much, too little, the whole thing is ruined. Shop carefully. Right, it's in. You ever eaten vanilla before, by the way? Not like vanilla flavored thing. I mean, have you ever drank vanilla essence? I did when I was very young. Once. You know, that's something you only do once. The sleeve went down again. Wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. It smells good, which is weird because, okay, when you lose your sense of smell, you lose most of your tasting capabilities as well, because smell is a huge part of taste. Taste is only like the thing on your tongue where it's like, oh, sweet, bitter, sour, all of that. All of the rest, all the nuance is smell. So I don't understand if something that smells good. I had the same mentality when I ate soap that one time. Again, that's something you only do once. And now I know soap tastes bad, which is weird, because... Isn't that weird? That I know it tastes bad even though it smells good? Like, I know how it I don't remember how it tastes, but I know how it tastes. By the way, right now I'm mixing the egg and the vanilla essence in to the sugar butter amalgamation with my hands. If I had an electric mixer nearby, plugged in, you know, maybe things would be going better. But this is going well. We're making the batter. We're making a bit of batter. You know what I'm talking about. We're making a bit of batter. The egg acts as a bonding agent, which bonds things. And you know what? Eggs are my second favorite agent bond. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? My first one's glue. Third is James. But first one's glue. Don't put glue in your cookies, though. That's for brownies. Common mistake. So you're basically just mixing this together until all of the hard parts are gone. You're going to be left with a soft combination thing, rather than the butter and sugar is pretty much as hard as softened butter. This is going to be more like, I don't know, slightly thick custard. Well, very thick custard. But it's going to be like a thick liquid, not like a soft solid. You understand. You've played Metal Gear. I haven't. It's probably fun. I'd like to. Maybe I will one day. I don't know. I don't. I feel like if you play Metal Gear, you have to play all of them 100% and pay very close attention the whole time, from what I know of it, because it's just like, otherwise... Wait, you're telling me the boss is Venom Snake? It's like, yeah, well, that's crazy. What? No way, Big Boss was Venom Snake this whole time? Does Solid Snake have an eye patch? Or does he not? Or does he then get one later? And is the missing eye the left one or the right one? And who's that guy that looks like him? I think he was cloned from that guy, actually. I don't know. I would need to pay attention. I'd need to play all of them and pay attention. Alright, we got that well mixed. Now it's just a matter of getting the last bits off our fingers and back into the mixture. Again, hands are washed. I didn't use spit, I used a sink. You're free to use spit, it's just I don't have spit glands in my body. I can't generate spit, so... I could have waited long enough to like sweat, but... That's why I put it on the jacket, but it was taking too long, so I just used the sink, I used the tap, and I washed my hands. I don't have tear ducts either. So that was off the table. Alright, that'll do. I'm actually gonna wash my hands again because there's a little bit of a thick liquid left on. Oh, liquid! Right? You know, I've seen. No, I haven't. Alright, yeah, we're actually very close to being done with the mixing part already. As I said, this is a very easy to follow basic recipe. It is literally combine your ingredients into the bowl in order, and then you're in the green. Oh, look how wide my torso looks when I do that. It's because the jacket is... Here, look, when I like pull it in tightly... Hang on, how can I get my arms up? It still looks pretty wide. That's weird. Whatever. Oh, I could make myself a pyramid? Hang on. We'll get back to the bacon in just a second. Oh, hang on. I could be a bell. I'm gonna pretend to be a bell. Don't tell anyone. I'm pretending to be a bell. Hang on. I gotta get this out of the way. Okay, that's enough of that. Flour, self-raising. Self-raising flour goes in next. Cloud came on. Self-raising flour comes next. 2 1/4 cups of it. And for this, we use the only other tool besides units of measurement that we have. There are 2 tools involved here, and I guess the oven tray later. But in the mixing process, 2 tools. It's the big bowl, and it's a sieve or a sieve. I don't know. I don't know how it's spelled. I don't know how it's pronounced. It's weird. Normally it's only one of those because you've either heard it said or you've heard it. You've seen it written down. I don't know. I don't know either. S-I-V, S-I-E-V-E, S-I-F, S-I-E-F. This. It's got holes in it. But it's small holes. This one's plastic. My bowl, if you want to follow the recipe to the letter, I got a metal bowl. I'm not doing bowl tricks anymore until it's emptied. And I got a plastic sieve. Sieve. Who knows? I'll do sieve tricks. Yeah, you got it. You do this because flour sucks. And all... No, I can leave it there. Flour sucks. It all collects. 2 1/4 cups. I'll put the sieve. Who knows? Yeah, for now. Well, I measure out a cup with a spoon. If you want to follow the recipe to the letter, I got a metal spoon. Tablespoon, specifically. I know that's not standard, but you know, you get as close to me as you can, and you're getting as close to perfection as you can, you know. You don't want to stray from God too much. Little bit, but not enough for him to notice. So, if you want to know what flour does, flour is the base of whatever you bake whenever you use flour. It forms the most solid form. And self-raising flour is special, because normally, that's 1 cup. Normally, you would add in baking powder. And what baking powder does, I'm sieving it in, by the way. What you can do is you get your hand and you put it on the side of the sieve, and then you just like tap it against your hand. And there you go. You got dusty flour. What baking powder does is it activates in the oven. The oven activates it. And what it does when it's activated is it heats up more. The oven is not hot enough to fully bake something, and the baking powder actually heats up to an extreme degree and then finishes baking the thing. The oven would only get a little bit of the way without the baking powder. Self-raising flour is basically flour, but you don't need the baking powder, which is why you want to be careful with it. Self-raising flour is exceptionally flammable. This is the 1/2 cup, not the full cup. That was close. I only put the first spoonful in. Self-raising flour is incredibly flammable, and if you put it near a flame source, or if you if you're baking too close to the oven and some excess heat is getting up to the bag of self-raising flour, it's called self-raising for a reason. All right, it'll that's a bang pop pow and a half, and it gets very hot. So you want to avoid that at all costs. But it's nice because it means you don't have to put in the activating agent baking powder later. But very hot, very dangerous is self-raising flour, so you don't want to get it too close. Because again, the oven would only the oven would basically warm up the mixture otherwise. 2 cups. Would warm up the mixture otherwise, but with the self-raising flour or the baking powder added, it just ignites and it starts a little fire inside of the thing. So that's how it is. You want to be careful. Very dangerous. Very toxic as well. Luckily, when it goes in the oven, most of the toxicity is burned out of it. Like when oil is burned and, you know, there's no oil left behind at the end, right? So, yeah, you don't want to eat it early, and you want to keep it away from any open flames for your own safety. 1/4 cup. I'll still be using a tablespoon for this and not a teaspoon because I'm a crazy person. And I'm also a surgeon, and I can just, the amount of precision I can bring together with my hands is enough that it doesn't even matter that I'm using a tablespoon to put into a 1/4 cup. It's no wonder I'm not allowed to travel to 17 different countries. Flour's in. Most important ingredient of all. This is what, without this ingredient, you got pretty good cookies. I'll admit, your cookies are pretty good. Why is... Oh, that's... Okay, I thought the green screen was being weird again. No, that was just the flour. Without these, you got pretty good cookies. With these, you got the cookies all your friends very, request. Oh, there's an event going on? Dylan, you'll be bringing the cookies, right? Hey, Amanda, do you think you can make those cookies you make for us? The ones you made the recipe for? Yeah, I can make those cookies. Wait, you want me to be there? Yeah. So long as you put in that extra ingredient and ingredient salt. 1 teaspoon of salt. Don't overdo it. It's in. That's all you need. That's it. That goes from good cookies to wow cookies. And we want wow cookies. Now you mix that all together. You pull up your sleeves. I'm gonna add in my Smarties now. The family-sized ones. I want to do it again, because it makes me giggle like a caveman. Come on. Yeah. It's actually really cool looking. You could do a Smarties music video like this. Yeah, you got Smarties. If you got chopped chips, you got nuts. You can do it after mixing the flour in, but I just figured 2 birds, 1 stone. Incredibly keen eye. Combine all of this and you get rested. I'm not adding in the whole family size bag because that would be extreme. You get leftover Smarties, but pale in comparison to the cookies. But, you know, when in Rome, visit the Colosseum. And then you mix this all together. I felt like I didn't need to say it out loud, but since you were looking at me with that dumb fucking face of yours, I guess I gotta narrate every step. That's fine. I'll narrate every step. I'll hold your hand along the way. I was hoping you would show some initiative. This is supposed to be a choose-your-own-adventure Bakin stream, for God's sakes. But that's fine. I'll do it myself. And mixing this, it shouldn't take long, thanks to the softened butter. I'm actually amazed how much that helps. This normally is like an hour-and-a-half long process. I'm not kidding. I was prepared to, like, I had some I have some topics written down on the recipes in case I ran out of things to say while mixing this for an hour and a half, but no, this is taking like 2 minutes. Mix it all together. It's going to be golden brown. I know what that word means because I'm a baker, and now you do too because you're mixing it as well with me. You get some delicious cookie batter. Which you, if you want to eat the cookie batter, and you're making this to eat the cookie batter, don't put the egg in. Because the egg only really helps the bonding when it comes to the oven, and you will get salmonella because it is a raw egg. So if you're making this for cookie batter, don't include that egg. If you're making this for cookies, figure it out yourself, all right? Infer from the topic what I was about to say. And your answers will be assessed by the head teachers. So think carefully. That's already combined. I'm actually amazed at how just absolutely fantastic. I should soften the butter. Okay, here's the thing, right? This doesn't make sense to me. If you soften butter for half an hour and then mix it, it takes like 15 minutes. But if you don't soften the butter and then mix it, it takes like an hour and a half. Does the butter not soften while it's being mixed? This is absurd to me. Alright, I got a whole collection of cookies. Oh, well, also to be fair, I normally triple all of the ingredients and do it all in one bowl anyway, because that way I have cookies for like a couple of months. So that might be part of it, because you can't do that, by the way. You can't just triple all the ingredients and then do a bunch of... It takes way longer to mix, especially at the hard stages before it gets soft, but you can do it. Works out pretty well. Alright, that's all mixed. I'm very impressed by just how absolutely talented I am and butter is, and the inventor of butter is Arthur P. Butter. He nearly named it Arthur, but then he found out that was a king or something. Changed his mind. Right. Please, come on, off my fingers. Last little scraps. Right, I'm not going to take my own advice. Listen, the risk of salmonella is very small. It's just, you know, if you're making it for cookie batter, that means you're eating the whole thing. Don't include the egg, because it's pointless and then risky. If you're just going to lick off your fingers, that's fine. No, you know what? I'm gonna wash this over here. I'm gonna walk over here and I'm gonna wash this off my hands with the sink. I'm gonna wash it with the sink. God, this sink is delicious. Oh, I just love tap water. God. Thank God for fluoride in the water. Oh, alright, I'm back from the tap. And we're gonna go there again, because there's a little bit of sticky residue left. I didn't think it through all the way, I suppose. I thought I'd calculated for everything. That's some good water. For real. I am actually glad they had fluoride. Because it means you can get away with not brushing your teeth. I know you do that. You should be ashamed of yourself, by the way. You should be ashamed of yourself. Get up and brush your teeth right now. I know what you do. I know you don't brush your teeth, and then instead you go to the sink, you pour water into your mouth, and you just swish it around in your mouth to get it all over your teeth. and then you like swallow or spit it out. And then you're like, oh yeah, my teeth are cleaned. They're not cleaned. Go clean your teeth. You only, it genuinely can take only 40 seconds. It's not even a time investment. I don't know why you'd put it off so much, man. You only get one set of teeth. Don't waste them. Oven tray. You can do oven tray tricks if you like. If you like, and if you're incredibly good at what you do. Alright, it's a pairing thing, okay? Not just anyone can do oven tricks, please. Baking paper. Mine's recycled baking paper, which means it's brown, not white. I told you that because it makes me feel good about my habits. Baking paper goes on the baking tray. If you don't have baking paper, you can just spray down the tray with non-stick spray. But if you use the baking paper, then it's easier to get the cookies off. You don't even need to clean the tray afterwards, and there's no spray to, you know, figure it out. Use context clues once again. I'm relying on you. Where did I put the spoon? Is it inside the flour? Yes, it is. Alright. So it's done. The mixture is done. Now it's just a matter of getting this mixture onto that oven tray and getting the oven tray into the oven. That's why they call it an oven tray. And an entree, when you're eating fancy foods. Do they still do entrees? What even are entrees? Is it just like, here's a bit of grapes before your burger? Weird, I don't get it. Just give me the burger. Yeah, so you just spoon. I'm just gonna, you could use your hands for this. And you're about to use your hands anyway, because you go from the spoon to your hand. The spoon is not for the extraction process, it's for the measuring process, because that way you standardize your cookie measurements. You could also use this batter and turn it into one giant cookie. I've done that before, it's good. Well, I haven't done that before. I've turned it into many small cookies and then used what remains for one giant cookie. But that's fine. This size ball, you don't really want to go any bigger than this. Okay? Unless you're planning to do a huge one, because this is going to be a very big cookie. Remember, it spreads out a lot. I like to stack it up in a ball shape rather than flatten it. You can flatten it. When you stack it up in a ball shape, it gets thicker, and that means the soft stays soft. So I like to do that. You don't want it any bigger than this. In fact, I'll normally just do 4 that sized, put them in the corners of the baking tray, and then I'll do a bunch of smaller ones, right? So for example, here's an example of a smaller one, in case you need a visual reference, in case you're a visual learner. You want to space them out well. It doesn't really matter if they overlap with each other, because when you pull it out of the oven, you can just, with a butter knife, cut them while they're still soft and haven't hardened yet. And that separates them. And that works fine. Generally, you need more than one baking tray for this. I'm only going to use one because then I'll just bake the rest in the oven when the stream's off. Because they go in there for, you know, like 8 to 12 minutes. I don't remember the exact number. I'll see it in this. Oh no, 8 to 12 minutes was correct. I didn't have a specific number written down. Put these on the baking tray. And yeah, normally it'll be like 2.5 baking trays, if your baking trays are the same size as my ones. Which means I normally do like, I normally end up doing like nearly 8 baking trays. Because I triple the ingredients so I have cookies for a month. Yeah, but we don't talk about that here. Alright, so I've got 8 balls on this. You can semi-see it. Spaced out nicely. I got a row of 3, a row of 2, a row of 3. So they're not too close to each other. You take that over to your oven. By now it should be heated up to 190 degrees Celsius, which is about 375 Fahrenheit. Memory like an elephant. Body like a bell. and you take it over there, you put it in the oven, you set an alarm. Now, another optional step, because this is a choose your own adventure baking stream. You can put it in the oven for half of the time, and then take it out and spin it around and put it in to do the other side. And that's absolutely not necessary, right? I'm going to be doing it here, but it's absolutely not necessary and just extra. Ovens haven't been bad enough to require that in decades. They spread the heat very evenly now. Maybe you'll have slightly more brown, golden brown ones at the back and slightly more golden brown ones at the front. That's not a concern to me. Right? I apologize for not sharing in big baking's fucking scare tactics, but I'm gonna be doing it anyway. Whatever, you know? Do something about it. Stop me if you can. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'll be putting it in for 4 minutes, and then I'll be taking it out, looking at it, and continuing from there. So it's 8 to 12 minutes. What I like to do, I'm putting it in right now. Oh, and if you have multiple baking trays, and you can do these simultaneously on different racks, obviously as well. You don't need to do one tray at a time. That would be absurd. It's in there. It's in there. And I like to put it in for 4 minutes because, again, 8 to 12 minutes, variable. Depending on how the cookies feel and depending on how thick you did them and depending on all of that. So I like to put them in for 4 minutes, and then when I'm taking it out to spin them, I like to look at them and just kind of eyeball, okay, should I put it in for like 6 more minutes on the other side? So that's why I like to spin it, because it means I get like a little peek halfway through to figure out if it should be less than halfway through, you know, if that should be like 40% of the way through. There we go. We've got flour everywhere, and don't feel bad that you do too, because that's what flour does. So when you put it in a sieve, and you put it in a sieve, however you prefer, and you go like this, that's what it does. It goes everywhere. So, is this still okay? This thing that was lighting up part of the green screen before, and then turned off in my hand, and then turned on out of my hand. That was like 100 degrees. Maybe some self-raising flour got on it or something, and you know, was starting to melt it. Well, it's cooled back down to room temperature now, so of little concern. But that's it. I will be waiting because I will be instructing you on turning it and how it should look, and then how to hold it as it cools down, where to put it, all of that. But that's it for steps, really. You got your cookies. You got your Valentine's Day cookies. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, to you. To you. Ah, missed opportunity. Oh, missed opportunity. Yeah, real missed opportunity. I could have pretended I was like missing a finger with the silhouette. Hang on. Maybe I can still do it. Oh, when I was using the knife to cut the butter, that would have been the perfect time. I'd be like, hang on. Just indulge me while we're waiting. Alright, I got the knife. Imagine. Alright, so you're cutting the butter. Ow! And I'm like screaming, ow! Oh, I cut my finger off! What? No. This is hard to navigate. Fingers off! No! Fingers, oh, I'm missing it now. I'm making cookies. Yeah, I'll get the thing now. So I don't have to get it later. Assuming the thing still exists. Not the Fantastic Four thing, that's a different guy. Real nice, Benjamin Grimm. He wrote horror stories, I believe. Okay, it looks like it doesn't exist anymore. Unless I... Whoa! You know what that sound is, ladies and gentlemen? It's time for double jeopardy! Alright. So right now, at the halfway point, if you're doing this, they will be weirdly shaped and they will look very kind of light. That's to be expected. The golden browning is like the last thing that happens. I'm going to put them in for 6 more minutes based on what I just saw. I'm going to put them in for 7 more minutes. You know what? Let's go wild. 7 more minutes. The thing I was looking for was a thing called a drying rack, which is very optional. But if you have one, it's good. It's basically just like rows, so that when you put a cookie on it, it like the underside has, it's like bars, right? So it's like a jail bars, but it's this way. And then you put cookies on it, and then air can come underneath and cool, harden the cookie from underneath as well. It attacks from all angles instead of just the regular ones, but the regular ones work fine. It's big bakery selling you, you know, just telling you you need it so that you'll buy it, and you'll buy it. You're an idiot consumer, just like me. Big bakery is going to get what's coming to them one day, though. Let me tell you. By the way, I just noticed because that like looked really weird with the silhouette when I go like, because the hair, it makes it look like my head. It makes it look like this is my head shape, right? Or maybe like this is my nose, and I'm like a Sesame Street character with like a nose ring, and it's like, hey, Tommy. Hang on, big idea, big idea. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, quack, quack. Quack, 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 quack. Going back down here. I had to get that out of my system. Okay. Sometimes you got venom in your blood. Yeah, what I was going to say before those wild animals broke in here and do start wreaking havoc was I got a natural head tilt. My head does this. And I noticed sometimes in all of the other things, you can like see it, because I'll just like for no reason. And for like 10 minutes, I'm just like this. And then like the next 10 minutes, I'm just like this. And I figured it out like only a handful of months ago. Okay, so I've known for a while I just have my head tilted. Just like casually. It's just how I be. But I didn't understand the depth of it. Only recently I realized, hang on, I don't just have a natural head tilt. I have a natural head tilt in both directions. It goes both ways. I don't just like, oh, my head goes to the left. No, my head does what it wants, right? What does this look so weird? Does it look weird in real life? Oh yeah, it does. Whatever. Deal with it. Live with it. I have to. Yeah, I realized my head tilts both ways. I didn't understand like what the hell's going on. I figured it out only a handful of months ago. My head tilts to the left, my left, when I'm thinking about something really deeply. And for all of my other stuff as well, the camera is flipped, right? So when I move to my left, it goes to the left of the screen as well. This is not flipped. So, yeah. When I go to my left, it means I'm thinking about something or trying to remember something. I'm considering something. I'm coming up with something. What's going on? Okay. I'm coming up with something, or I'm thinking about something, I'm trying to figure something out. Brain power working to the left. To the right means I like what I see, right? I'm looking at, if my head is tilted to the right, I am presently looking at something that I very much like. And that can be like, I'll be walking around, and over there, over yonder, I spy one of my like friends. I'll be like, oh, head tilt to the right. And I'm looking at him like, oh, wave, wave, wave. And I start thinking about politics. And I'm like, oh, wow, look at that cute dog walking past me. And then I start thinking about philosophy. Okay. Final step as well. Well, semi-final step, because I got to show you how to take out the cookies for crying out loud and let them dry and let them harden. But one of the most important steps of all is the cleanup. I don't neglect this step. Do not neglect this step. When you're doing the cleanup, you're gonna be mostly cleaning up flour. That is the largest issue which you will face. And when you're cleaning up flour, you want to be using paper towels, because you don't want to be sucking it up into your wet cloths. You want to be dragging it off the counter into like your hand and then into the bin. Or into like an alternative paper towel and then crushing them together and making a paper towel flour sandwich, which you still need to keep away from open flames. Don't forget that. Self-raising flour and open flames is a no-no. Things will go bad for you. Things will get dangerous. If you've seen the Batman movies, you know what I'm talking about, because it happened to Harvey Dent. If you've seen Breaking Bad as well. Excuse me 1 second. I think I hear a very familiar friend who's at the door. And check it. I'm actually going to leave that in there a little bit longer. It looks like you can use 2 more minutes. Trust your eyeballs. That's important. Trust your eyeballs. Don't let anybody tell you that your eyeballs are not the right color. And just trust your eyeballs. You gotta, if it looks like it needs a couple more minutes, it needs a couple more minutes. All right. Flour is cleaned. Knife is not. Happens. Spoons are not. Cups are not. Oh, wow, there's just so much to clean. I don't know how I'm gonna handle it all. The answer? Hard work and dedication. Don't be like all these other bozos trying to take the easy way out. No, you're different. I see that in you. You're probably gonna have flour left over. You're probably gonna have sugar left over. That goes in the cupboard for later. The hardest part, if you want to triple up the ingredients, speaking from experience, the hardest part of tripling up the ingredients is the butter. You never think how much butter you need. You never realize it. You don't. I don't care. I don't care. Dude, this looks so weird. Whatever. It'll look weird. That'll happen. I don't care who you are. You are going to underestimate how much butter you need. That's a promise. Because if you triple it, 750 grams of butter, you don't understand how much that is. I guarantee you the first like 2 times you try to make triple the ingredients all in one, you'll need to go to the store again to get more butter, because you'll underestimate. Hang on. I think I hear a very special friend going indoors. Oh, that's looking more golden brown. Actually, I do want to do it 1 more minute. Well, look, okay, well, what did we do? We did 4 minutes, 7 minutes, 2 minutes. So, okay, so I tricked you when I said 8 to 12, because we're putting it in for 14 now. But what do you want from me? You eyeball it. You eyeball it. 8 to 12 minutes. Turns out 14. It's your recipe after all, isn't it? It's your recipe. What are you blaming me for? I'm just helping you with your recipe that all of your friends love. To be honest, it probably only needed like well, no, I mean, if it needs 45 seconds, it needs a minute. Like, the difference of 15 seconds is so minimal, especially when most of the self-raising flour has already been burned through as fuel, and the oven's just kind of heating up the rest, you know, warming it without really baking it, because all of the primer is burned through. Hold on a minute. Hark! Oh, perfect. Perfect. I'm a visionary. You know what? I'm an absolute visionary. This turned out simply wonderful. I can tell just by looking at it. Make sure you use oven mitts, or just like a cloth. Cloth works. If you use a cloth, fold it a couple times, but it'll be fine. The other good thing about using baking paper instead of non-stick spray is now you can just lift the baking paper off, put the next baking paper on, and put the next bunch of cookies on. So that's, you know, it's perfect. Lifting the baking paper off of the tray. So I got all the cookies on this baking paper. I'm just going to set it down on the counter right there. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Simply wonderful. You could technically keep it on the baking tray, but it'll take longer to cool down and harden because the baking tray is hot. So, you know, your discretion. It's a choose your own adventure baking stream. I've never said anything else, but use your discretion. That's the only message I'm trying to get across. Yeah, and then you're done. You got cookies. If they're kind of melded together Frankenstein-like and you don't want that, just get a butter knife, slice across there, and just push them like a tiny bit apart. And then when they harden, they'll be apart, and you'll be perfect. And that's the bacon done. We're gonna wait a little bit for them to cool down, and then we're gonna eat them. We're gonna eat one, and then we'll say yummy. Let me get a stool. Have a sit. I've been standing. I walked like 4 hours yesterday, just for fun. I hadn't done it in a bit. It was a lonely road. I was the only one there. I'm not even sure where it went, to be honest. But it was only me. So, you know. You can't tell when I'm smiling. You can't tell what I'm doing at all. I should have practiced shadow puppets for this. I really should have. Maybe next time. Maybe I can do a whole shadow puppet stream. I don't like the way this is. Look, you know, jacket's coming off. I think that's part of it. I think that's part of like making me look like my neck is super duper thick. I've talked about my neck before. Let me show you. I got a long neck. You see that? Look at that. It also looks like I got no chin, so I'm gonna do it sideways, so you know I have it, you know. But look at how long that is. Very long neck, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you agree? You should. It's what Nelson Mandela would have done, so. I don't like this, man. I mean, yeah, I've never liked it. It gets in the way all the time, but I've come to accept it. Something I learned recently, because again, this is only a recent thing, and it's not really a choice, it's just, it kind of turned out this way, right? How long it grew, I mean. I didn't know how to tie it up before. I only figured it out recently. It is wonderful and genius, to be honest. Because so if you don't know, because I didn't, what you do is you get the hair tie, you put it on your wrist. I thought when people had hair ties on their wrist, it was just for storage, because that way it doesn't get lost in pockets, it doesn't get pushed down by other things in pockets, and you don't have to hold it with your hand. I thought it was just storage. No, that's like ready to deploy. That's loaded when it's on a forearm. Because what you do is you grab it, and then you, with your other hand, you pull it off of the forearm, and you, over the hair, and then, because this arm is holding the hair, so then you grab off the forearm and pull it over, and then it's on the hair because it was joined. I didn't realize it was like that. I thought it was just, okay, I got the hair bunched up, and then you grab it and you just kind of try to slide it over the back. But no, you go like, it's so clever, it's so genius, and I never even thought of it. It was not something I considered. How are these? Let me test. Still a bit soft, probably a little bit to go. But you know what? Whoever achieved anything by waiting and seeing. Aaron Burr? Nope. Nope. Now you do want to wait for them to be golden brown, because it's not just appearances when it looks more kind of pale in there. It's not, oh, it doesn't look as good, it won't be as crispy. It's not just appearances, and it's not just crispiness. It's also, when it's golden brown, that means all of the self-raising flour has been burned out, and there's no longer any concern for the toxicity that comes with that and the flammability that comes with that. So that's why you want to wait. These look like most of the toxicity has been burned out of them. Oh, by the way, the big balls turn into a cookie this size. Hang on, this is the size that they turn into. So, for your reference, this is one of the smaller ones. You could do them way smaller than I did as well. I just, why grab two small cookies when you can grab a medium cookie? Still a bit warm. Probably you want to leave these for like 15 minutes or so. We're not going to do that. Cheers. Perfect. Can you tell when I raise my eyebrows if it's at the right angle? Perhaps. That's very good. They are even better when they've been left out to rest. Oh, extra tip, when you're doing the when you're putting in the Smarties and nuts and choc chips that you want, right? If you mix in the flour first and don't add anything yet. Oh, and also if you mix in the flour first, then you can like separate them into different batches. Oh, here's choc chip, here's nothing, here's nuts, you know. And then you all use the same batter, but now they've been separated, and then it gets added in and mixed in, yeah. But if you mix in the flour first, so you don't have anything added in yet, or you just got basic cookies, if you add white choc chips and fresh raspberries, they'll get a bit mushed when you're mixing them in, that's fine, that's actually good. They are delicious. You can make raspberry and white chocolate cookies, they are great. They're great right out of the oven. If you leave them in like a fridge or a box for a bit, then they turn into, they turn like good. They turn into standard cookies. We don't make standard cookies here. We make great cookies. And right out of the oven, white chocolate and raspberry, cookies with this. They're absolutely delicious. So if you want, you could take out a bit of the batter and turn that into raspberry and white chocolate while the rest of the batter gets the normal treatment. So then you have something to eat right out of it that is great. And then also you have the normal ones for later that are great. Little trick. These are pretty delicious though. Look at that great bite, by the way. God, don't you wish you had teeth like me? That's a proper crescent. That is an impeccable. That's an impeccable semicircle bite. That's unbelievable. You could not do better than that. You could not do better than that with like a machine and vectors and calculation. You couldn't do better with that on Desmos. Pretty damn good. And just like that, easy cookies, easy life, delicious cookies, delicious life. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you had a good one. Hope you say hooray. Hope you dance the night away. That's all. That's all. Catch you later.